everybody. Welcome to Nine Lives Energy. My name is Chrissy Smith, and together we help energize your body from the inside out. Happy early morning woos day to you. We have practitioner Deborah with us today for our bi-monthly astrology forecast, and today we are going to be talking about our Benefic. I can't even say that word.
Benefic.
Benefic, whatever.
Benefic.
What is the benefactor? Benefic. There we go. Benefic planets, Venus and Jupiter. Those are the ones that bring the most abundance into our life. They bring us wealth. They bring us love. They bring us prosperity. And they are here to shine a light on us and the collective. For the next little bit, we just finished up a Venus in retrograde, and it is going direct. And to replace that energy, Jupiter is going into retrograde until the end of the year. So without further ado, Deborah, how are you doing this week? How are you doing with Mercury in retrograde? We got about another few days of that. I have been having a lot of tech issues this week, a lot of communication issues with tech stuff, but I tell you what, I'm managing very well. Mercury needs to go and pick on someone else.
Well, don't forget your Mercury and your Sun are right together. I'm doing well, and you were talking about how Mercury's been picking on you. And one thing that I wanted to point out, and I know you already know this, that your Mercury and your Sun are together. So you're definitely going to feel this impact. And in fact, in the heavens right now, Mercury and the Sun are at 13 degrees. Both of them are. I was like, wow, when I looked at this morning, because 13 is the divine feminine number. And so it's like, wow, what energy we have. And of course, the Sun is still beaming in the sign of Virgo, which is all about work, service, health, vitality, healing, pets, daily routine. And so when the Sun is in Virgo, it's like, wow, and it rules the sixth house. And that's all about domesticity. So as far as I'm concerned, how I've been doing, I'm doing good. I'm doing good through this retrograde, and just looking out and seeing what all is happening is very interesting. And I read an article yesterday in regards to United Airlines was having some issues Monday. They had to actually ground their planes because of their technology that was not working. It was wonky. And I'm like, ooh, Mercury retrograde. And then at the same time, Mars on August the 27th, it made its transit into Libra. And that's an air sign. So I was like, no wonder these are happening. And so the more we get in tune with these things that are happening, the more we can see how it relates to us as individuals and as the collective, and how we can continue to move forward or be still instead of the flight or the fight or the freeze. We don't have to do any of that. We just take into consideration what the heavens are saying to us so that we can make our daily routines even the better. Mm-hmm. And as you said, there is significance that happened on the 4th. Venus, it went direct, and then which is the lesser of the benefics, and then you have Jupiter that went retrograde, which is the greater. It's the expansive part. So it's like, wow, how many times would that happen? And so the last time that Venus was actually retrograde in the sign of Leo, it was back in 2015. In the last video, we talked about that as we look back. And I think that's very important when it comes to knowing what the retrogrades are about, because we have 6 planets that are currently in retrograde. And it also includes our Chiron, which is our childhood, looking back at the inner child and those things that patterned and programmed, no matter who it came from. So, and it's not to do the blame game, but it is for us to become responsible and become the adults for what? Adults for what? So that we can apply unconditional love. That's what we are all here for, is to show unconditional love and be unconditional love. But if we don't know how to do that, then we get stuck and unforgiveness happens, and then unhealthy things happen. And so Virgo is about the house of health as well. And so it gives us this window to be able to look in, that we can take a look at, we can slow down. And I found these two great Greek definitions of retrograde that I really liked in this article that I read. And one is walking backwards. And it reminded me of Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk. Nobody could do the moonwalk like Michael Jackson. There are people who imitate it, but there's nobody who can do the moonwalk like Michael Jackson. So you think about walking backwards, and the walking backwards part is looking at the past and seeing how the past can be integrated with the future. And I know, we have a lot of experts that say forget the past. Well, that's simply if it's there was harm done, the pain. But at the same time, we do have to look at those hard aspects of life, those challenges, because those are the areas that we get to empower ourselves to be able to heal. So that's what that's about. And then the other one was retracing steps in the retrograde. So the retracing of steps is all about, again, us being able to look to see those areas where we could do better, where we can expand, where we can just release and let go of those things so that we can continue. Because as these benefactors are so relevant in our lives now, it's amazing. So when we look at Jupiter, Jupiter has been in Taurus for a good while, May, if I recall correctly, since May. And with this there, Taurus rules our seventh house and second house. Not the seventh, second house. And so that is definitely about our economics. And you got Uranus that is retrograde in there too. So let me name those planets that are retrograde at this time. So you've got Mercury, you've got Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. All of those are retrograde at this particular time. So with Jupiter being retrograde in the house of economics, and as you said in the beginning, it's going to be there retrograde until December the 30th. And so as our economics individually, as well as globally, as well as the United States, in particular the United States, because Pluto is placement is right where the natal chart of the United States at the beginning, which was July the 4th, 1776, it was there. So it's still there and it's in retrograde. So again, a lot of things that were set in the beginning are going to be destroyed, but not destroyed to the point of where there's no solution or resolution. This is all for regeneration, transformation, because that's what Pluto is about. It's about a rebirthing. And so while we are watching these things that happen, we have to be mindful, because you got Neptune that's retrograde. Is it the illusion or is it clarity? So we need to have some clarity. And one thing that I liked about the Sun and Mercury being in conjunction today was like, that's acuity. And acuity is so that we can get our thinking clearer, so that we can slow down, because we do, I mean, just think about it. This is September. Mm-hmm. We only have 3 more months. And if you want to include September in here, 4 months, and we're going to be in 2024. And one beautiful thing that I wanted to say about the month of September, September is a 7 universal year, the same as 2023. Because when you add 2023, that's sums up to 7. And when you take 9, which September is, and you take the 7 of the 2023, that's 16. Well, in numerology, you reduce it to a single digit, that's 7. So the 7th month that we're in, and there was another article that I was reading, and it was saying this, and it was so profound. I was like, wow. And that was from Tanya Gabrielle. I love her because she is not only an astrologist, she is a numerologist as well. And so combining the two gives us more of the geometric, the geometry, the sacred geometry that we are all, even our bodies are sacred geometry. It's amazing. And so 7 rules nature. Isn't that profound? And so September is that month, as well as September is considered the month of sound. So it's like, what are we listening to? What are we hearing? Because that is, listening is the prerequisite before hearing, because hearing then causes us to go into action. And so we can pay attention, because I'm sensitive to sound. I don't like loud sounds. If I go into a room, it just gets me off centered if there's loud sounds, even when trucks go by, even when the lawnmowers, so I'm sensitive to those things. I like it quiet, because like if you come in my house, you'd be like, gee, it is so quiet in here. There are times that, I like my music. There are times that, I watch TV. There's just so much significance. And like the other night, I was watching PBS in regards to Jupiter. And there was this Japanese astronomer who was filming this particular night. And there was an asteroid that actually he filmed it. And it happened so fast that it actually imploded upon impact of Jupiter. And so it was talking about how Jupiter actually is a protector for the Earth. And I'm like, wow, that is amazing. So Jupiter is expansive, it's big. And what does it want from us at this particular time? Because it loves giving. And so it's going to slow the giving down. And so as we see the pace as it is going downward, because Uranus again is in Taurus, and Taurus is Earth, and it's practical. And so it may look like we are making no progress whatsoever. So there is that illusion, but again, it wants us to be into stillness even the more, so that we can make these practical decisions, because we've got 5 planets that are in Earth. So what is that saying to us? Be grounded, and the universe is helping us in our grounding, because with all this chaotic things that are happening and will continue to happen, if we only look at those things, then we will believe the illusions. And not only that, you have the media that's playing off of those illusions. And so therefore we will think that there is no future. We will think that there is no help. And then also when it comes to climate change, we've got the G20 summit that's getting ready to happen. So send some good energy that way as these world leaders are coming together. But when you think about this retrograde, more than likely they're not going to come on agreement, because you got 2 leaders already who are saying that they're not going to be there. But okay, if y'all choose not to be there, just send some energy that things can be done in a fashion, whether in Alaska, one of the big glaciers melted, and people had bought property and thought that, that they were safe from it. And then you've got your insurance companies that are not covering these acts of God that they're calling it now. So people are stuck. So there will be a lot of economic downturns. And
Well,
so,
we are in the age of Pisces right now, and Pisces controls illusions. And so the
absolutely.
media right now is an illusion, and convincing people that what you see and what you hear is true. And the veil is lifting. The people are being able to see through the illusions and through some of these things that we've been told, well, the world is this way and the world may not be this way. So I don't really believe that much that I see on the news. This is probably why I don't watch it that much, but I find it very interesting that we have all these planets and earth signs. And if
Oh,
Mars is
absolutely.
correct and Mars is our action planet, these planets are communicating with Mother Earth. And if Mars is saying, okay, well, we're the action planet and we are going to reevaluate what we see on the earth plane, what we value, what we're here to do, how we're treating Mother Earth. Are we treating the things that we value with value, or are we taking them for granted? Are we consumed by the television? Are we consumed by the information, by the music, like you said, that you were hearing? It's a distraction. I can't listen to loud music that much anymore either, because I find it as a distraction. And I used to be in the nightclub for 25 years. And now to hear that, to feel that vibration, it hurts me. And I wish that I had woken up a little bit sooner to some of these energies. When you were talking earlier about in my birth chart, wherever Mercury and the sun are together, I have a conjunction, which means within about a 3 degree or 5 degree. So I have my sun at 19 degrees, and I think my sun is at 22 degrees, or Mercury is at 22 degrees, and the sun is at 19. So there's a 3 degree difference in the ninth house. And the ninth house is all about our education, how we learn, our spirituality. So people that have this conjunction are spiritual teachers. And I feel like this is what I'm being led to do. And this is why I have developed this channel, and probably why Mercury is having a real good time with me as far as my ability to communicate right now effectively. And I'm trying to do the best that I can. I'm like, okay, well, when September 14th rolls around, then I'll be a little bit better when Mercury goes direct. But, I look at all these structures that are around us, and we are so blessed to be alive at this time. The energies that are presenting themselves have not shown their face in 248 years. And it takes Pluto 248 years to go around all the zodiac signs. So Pisces is closing out all these illusions that we have been led to believe, that whatever is going on in Hollywood is the real deal. Whatever is going on in our government is real. Whatever is going on with all these stories, as far as like, I'm seeing different information about what's going on in Hawaii. I'm seeing different information about what's going on with, these world leaders, and these world leaders flying around on all these exotic planes and doing all these things. And then they're like, well, we can do this, but you can't. You can't fly around. You need to have cars that don't emit any type of emissions whatsoever. But then it's okay for them to be doing the things that they're telling us not to do, and to have all these resources and leaving us with nothing. This is what the veil is being lifted, so people can see the truth, that all these leaders that we have that have been given to us to follow are not really doing things that are in the best interest of humanity, and they are in the best interest of themselves, and they want us to pay for it and keep us more enslaved, not only financially, but emotionally, and definitely mentally, in the matrix of the mind. The matrix of the mind, which is, it's not so much as taking the red pill and the blue pill. It's like, do you want to stay asleep and keep believing that this is your reality? Or do you want to believe in the truth, which is probably a little bit harder to grasp, and change your reality and change your mindset? Chiron is going to be in Aries until 2027. we have a huge opportunity now to look at our childhood wounds as a collective and be able to see why we are the way that we are. And a lot of people don't want to look at why they show up in the world like they do. Deborah has done a lot of inner work. I've done a lot of inner work, and to see how we have been programmed to believe certain ideologies. And I really think that the people that are here now, the star seeds, the astrologers, the intuitive healers, are here to help show humanity how they are going to be able to ascend or to be whenever this transition happens. And it's getting faster and faster and faster. And like Deborah said, we can't live in fear. A lot of these stories that we hear are supposed to make us live in fear so that we focus on living in that low vibrational frequency of fear and anger and depression, instead of using these experiences as opportunities to grow and to develop ourselves on a higher level so that we can figure out what it is that we are supposed to do. We're not supposed to work a 9-to-5 job every day and then not have enough money. So now we have to work a part-time job in order to take care of our families. That's not what God intended. That's not what we're supposed to be. And so I'm really excited about being alive during the age of Aquarius.
Absolutely. And one thing that, you were talking about, you're talking about Pisces, and Pisces rules the 12th house. The 12th house is all about the house of secrets. So it is revealing all that's hidden. And when you're talking about the pace of us waking up, it is at a faster rate now. So all the things that are coming to the surface, because that's what water does. Water is very deep. And then also with the addictions, and we have to look at it because Pisces rules addictions. It moves our mental health. And as we can see, the mental health is really high on the agenda. And again, the awareness, because if you don't have awareness, you don't have consciousness. They go hand in hand. So all these things, like you said, as far as leaderships, when you go to Leo and with Venus being in there, and let me point out some of the things that Venus being the Benefic, it's showing it's a reconciler. She has sovereignty over love, glamour, ornamentation, wealth, gems, luxury, physical beauty, the arts, the artist, culture, and the courtesan. She encourages the charming, the social, and leads towards cooperation. And with it being in Leo at this particular time, because, we get to look at, again, what is entertainment? Where is our value placed? Because, and I've said that before, and I'll say it again for anyone that's new, that's watching. When it comes to value, value is what somebody else says something is valued at. So somebody is putting that value on there. And Jupiter with our beliefs, like you said, the ninth house, because that's what Jupiter is with Sagittarius in the ninth house. It has to do with our beliefs. So again, all of our beliefs are under examination at this time. And then with that Mercury and the sun being together, because don't forget now, the sun rules Leo. Venus is in there. The sun is our illumination. The sun is our life force. What it is, our vitality. So we are getting the opportunity to review what has been passed down to us, what has been given to us, to look at, to say, why do I believe what I believe? And we get to step back. We get to do the moonwalk on it. We get to retrace those things in the education department, because again, like you said, Jupiter in Sagittarius, that's higher learning. And so we can look at it from a university perspective, but then we've got all this earth energy that is teaching us, and that's what it wants us to do, is to connect to our self-worth. And Taurus is all about our self-worth. So Venus is also the ruling planet for Taurus. So when we bring all of this connectivity together, it begins to take our vision, and we can see it. It's not so narrow. It becomes very expansive, and we've got all the protection that we need. And yes, things are going to continue to happen, but it has to. And it is happening for our best and our highest good.
And it doesn't feel like it at the time. And a lot of these challenges, I look back on my life, and, you know, when I was about 28 or 29 years old, I had my Saturn return. We all have them. And I wish I had gotten into astrology then, but I didn't. It took me about 15 years before I found astrology, and it has been life-changing for me. And regardless of how someone gets to be closer to God or closer spiritually, why does it matter their destination on how they got there, as long as they got there and they become into their higher purpose, whatever God has planned for them, whatever their chart has said. And since I've been looking at some of this stuff, it's just been so eye-opening.
Yes,
and I just keep getting just information thrown at me, and it's like, I'm going to tell people about it. For example, the 369 method, I told my students about it. I can't wait to tell people about it. Folks, please check me out on TikTok, 9 Lives Energy. You know, this is why the government doesn't want us on TikTok, okay? Because there's information on there that is waking people up that is being hidden from other social media platforms. And when I post this content on certain platforms, it doesn't get any views. When I post it on TikTok, it gets a lot of views. And so I'm going to go where the people are. And, you know, I'm not the only one who's on there sharing truthful information. There are people on there by the hundreds, thousands, talking about shadow work and giving information about, hey, buy this book and do some shadow work. This video I saw, it's called the 369 method. So this is how I know that this works. In 2020, I made a vision board, and I put that vision board at my fireplace. Now, I didn't realize energetically that I was creating all this stuff to come true. Now, I have 5 planets in retrograde in my chart, which means I move real slow. So it took me 3 years to complete that. Well, if I can do that on a vision board, what can I do with this 369 method now that I know the powerfulness of my thoughts into my manifestation? So in the morning, you write down 3 times what it is that you want. In the afternoon, you write down 6 times what it is that you want. And at night, you write it down 9 times. And I'll tell you what, I did this one day. And the very first sentence, because, you know, I like to go overboard, so I wrote like 4 sentences. I don't care. I need to be busy. It says, I'm an astrologer and I'm an intuitive energy healer. Instead of saying, I want this or I wish for this, I say, I already am that. Because the universe, God doesn't know time. It's going to give you what you are saying that you are, and it's going to do all this stuff around. So it says, I am this. The very next day, the first message that I got was from Deborah. And it says, hey, tomorrow, let's do our topic on to this. And it was just like, that's exactly what I wanted. So whatever I was dreaming about, which is the last thing that I thought about, I said it 9 times, I connect to the 4th dimension, which is the dream state. We don't know what happens in the dream state. We could be having conversations with our higher self. I could be having conversations with you. I could be on another timeline with you, Deborah, doing something even more magical. Or maybe I'm having communication with angels that communicated with you that said, hey, you got to send Chrissy a message at 6:30 in the morning. And I'm like, thank you so much, angels. I appreciate that. And guess what? I was able to knock out the thumbnail and put the information out there for this video. So I asked Deborah for a little bit of help because I said, you know, we all need a little bit of help from our friends. And if I want to be an astrologer, if I want to be an intuitive energy healer, let me give Deborah some of this work to do, because she's just as magical as me. And this is her show too. So let her come up with some of these ideas. Let her do her part. I do my part, and look at what we can come up with together. I'm so thankful that she's in my life. She has been a blessing to me over the last year of my life. And it's so funny that I met her knocking on her door, running for office. And guess what? I bought this Leo book, and it said, how can Leo show self-love? Because I'm a Leo rising. And the first page that I came to, it said, you should run for office. I said, I know I need to have this book, because that was a way for me to deal with some of my issues, for a lack of a better word, in a more positive way. And look at what I was able to do with it. I was able to use me running for office as a stepping stone in order to help me transform into what I'm doing now, which is where I'm supposed to be. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful journey. I'm so glad I ran for office and faced my fears. How many people would do that? And if I can do that and face my fears and get up there on a stage and, you know, speak against my opponent for things that I was seeing that was wrong with our government, even though I didn't win, it didn't matter. I won at the soul level, which is so much more powerful, because now look at what I'm able to do. I'm able to face my fears, do these live streams, talk about woo subjects that are considered kind of not popular with mainstream, but they're popular. They're popular because people are waking up to the truth, because they're like, all these things that I've been told for the last 250 years. And, you know, the media knows exactly what they're doing with the propaganda, and to make people think certain things and to live in fear. And I'm like, I'm not living in fear. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I want. And guess what? While you guys are up here trying to fight to uphold the old system, Deborah and I are going to be over here creating the new system, because people are going to need our information.
Absolutely. And I'll give you these last little tips. And this article, it was wonderful, because it during a retrograde, especially when it comes to Jupiter retrograde, you want to know, you know, what about it? And this article was by this gentleman named Nick Gaudet. And I like this. It says, this is why expansion and opportunity tend to slow down during Jupiter
Can you
retrograde.
speak up just a little bit? I'm having a little hard time hearing you, Deb. Speak just a little bit louder.
This is why expansion and opportunity tend to slow down during Jupiter retrograde. However, this slowdown doesn't provide a window for Jupiter benefits, namely positive karmic energy and intuitive alignment. Jupiter retrograde tends to be a fabulous time for connecting to karma, whether it be karmic relationships, baggage, or past lives, and working on it. This doesn't have to be a challenge with Jupiter. Instead, you can feel a boost as you work through it. Intuition can be extra strong with Jupiter, and our intuition is our sixth sense. We haven't been taught a lot about it, but it is our sixth sense, and it helps us to empower ourselves when we listen from within, because intuition is within. Intuition can be extra strong, and this is a great period for strengthening your connection to your intuitive self. Work on discerning what is your true inner guide and what is your subconscious mind getting away with. And the subconscious mind is just simply all of that information that has been filled by others. And that includes everything and everybody. Jupiter has been touring Taurus for a few months now, and Taurus is a practical earth sign and a grounded fixed sign. Jupiter in Taurus has helped us benefit from grounding ourselves, being practical and reliable, and cultivating solid self-confidence and connection to our values, as I said before. So as we put the values in their prospective place, then what is going to rise is our self-confidence, like you're talking about, Chrissy, what has happened to you. And then when you talk about Saturn, Saturn at this time is also in Pisces, and it is retrograde too. It rules grounding because it rules Capricorn. And also it is about structure. And it does start generally around the age of 28, the first time to age 33. And it goes up into our 50s. It starts happening every 7 years. And so as we begin to look at those major things, because that's what Saturn is all about, but it's not here to harm us. It's to bring the necessary discipline. And so with it being in Pisces at this particular time, it is helping us to ground even more, to have the discipline necessary to be able to walk in our new awakening. So this is definitely going to require some patience. It is definitely patience for the purpose of having the discernment so that our inner intuitive selves become more alive. So yes, the leaders doing what they need to do at this time. They're supposed to. They're supposed to be doing what they are doing at this time so that we are able to see the many injustices.
Right.
And so humanity, as you made mention of with the Aquarius age that we are moving into, because we are into the beginning stage of it, and Pisces is shifting out. And so the networking, the people that are coming together, because Aquarius is all about people. And I make this last mention in regards to Uranus being retrograde, because Uranus is all about those suddenlies. It rules earthquakes, it rules lightning. And so we're going to continue to see these things that are happening on Mother Earth. But Mother Earth got everything in control. Mother Gaia is no joke. She's got everything
She's mad. She's getting rid of all this ugliness. She is angry. She's had enough.
Yes, she's working with it. And at the same time, she's loving us too. So definitely can't leave that out. It is very loving. And so she is ridding those things that have brought harm to us also. I'm just personally asking that, we all be patient with ourselves as we do, because we do have those heavenly forces that are being in our corner. They've got us and they're protecting us. And don't forget, with the sun being in Virgo at this particular time, make sure you're doing some healthy things. Contact Chrissy, for supplements. And there's so much knowledge that's out here. We are not going to perish because of ignorance. We are tuning into our bodies, and we are taking care of them. So as we put that balance in the material, because we do want pretty things, we do want nice things, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
We're just putting the value where it needs to go, and so that we can continue to beautify ourselves and the earth and one another.
No. Well, folks, if you're interested in coming to my energy church, I put that on TikTok, and it's about, I'm going to try to make it 10 minutes. And basically what I do is I draw oracle cards for the week, and we dance around. So, my mom always teased me that I didn't go to church, but I go to my own little church. And I think it was because I didn't like the formality of church, and I didn't want to worship God that way. So I worship God the way that I want to, which is I walk out in nature. I thank him for all the many blessings that I have and all the abundance that is coming to me. And anyway, this week when I was editing the video, it's funny. You need to go and check it out on TikTok. So where my TV is, because my TV doesn't work, I was able to kind of edit and put the words up. It says, "What do your angels want to tell you this week?" And as I'm editing it, I'm like, what is that? And it says the words, "I love you." And I didn't put it there, folks. And I went to go delete it. and TikTok crashed and I lost everything that I had been working on probably for the last 30 minutes. And the last card I drew was Archangel Michael. So that is our angel for the week. Please go check it out on TikTok. Also, folks, Deb's talking about, Virgo, and that is where the sun is. And it is in the 6th house. That's what Virgo controls, which is our health habits and our routines. Everybody needs to go and download the Yuka app. Y-U-K-A. Y-U-K-A. There's a little carrot on there. It's free. Start scanning the things that you're eating. Start scanning the things that you're putting on your skin. You will be amazed that it is not good for you. Now, if it's food related, don't worry about the calories and fat and protein. Your body knows what that is. What it doesn't know is what a chemical is. So look at the additives and look at anything that has a red thing beside it that says is hazardous. Some of these hazardous materials that are in our deodorants and in our lotions are hormone disruptors. They also change your genetic material at the DNA level. Why are we putting this on our skin if your skin is your biggest organ? And some people are like, oh, well, I don't have any problems. Well, you don't have any problems yet. So what is that doing to your system if you have a toxic cup and now you're putting, chemicals on your skin, and then you're also putting chemicals that you're eating? What is happening to your digestive tract? What is happening, maybe you have a thyroid issue, or maybe you can't lose weight, or maybe you have brain fog. Maybe it's because of the chemicals that you're putting into your body. Mm-hmm. These people that make some of these products don't want you to be well. They want you to be sick so that you subscribe to whatever it is that they're trying to sell you in the form of medicine or in the form of whatever. We need to get back to what is natural. This is why we have so many planets that are in earth signs right now. What is natural, not what is synthetic, what is natural. All right. So make sure you check it out on 9 Lives Energy on TikTok. That's my energy church. And I also put, some different fun things on there. So please go check it out. You'll also see the video that I was able to capture where the angels were speaking to me this week. And I've been seeing a lot of repeating numbers. I don't know about you, Deb. Have you been seeing a lot of repeating numbers?
I haven't.
Okay. So maybe I'm just new. I've been seeing a lot of repeating 1s. I've been seeing a lot of repeating 3s. I've been seeing a lot of repeating 5s and 7s. So I bought this book here. It's called the Angel Number Book.
Okay.
And it goes all the way up to number 99. And so, I was looking at some of these things because I was looking at, number 10. I've been seeing that because that was on, or was it number 11? It was number 11 that I saw, and it was called The Awakening. And it says, your angels are calling for your attention. Your angels want to send you signs, but first they need to make sure that you're paying attention. This number asks you to notice the world around you so you don't miss the important messages coming your way. Ask your angels for confirmation, and after you see this number, repetition is their way of getting your attention. This is how they communicate with you, because they can't communicate with you on the physical realm. They communicate with you in the spiritual realm, but the way that they communicate with you is through numerology. So I love this book. And anytime I start seeing repeating numbers, I look it up in this book. Or if I draw a card and it has a number on it, I look at it, but I also do the mirror reflection of it as well. Folks, we live in a mirror. Everything that you see is a direct reflection of who you are. Everyone is an exaggerated truth of who you are. If you don't like your reality, then you need to change your mindset and you need to change yourself. It's not that you need to change your reality and that your reality is doing this to you. You are doing it to yourself. So if you want to have abundance in your life, do that 3-6-9 method, but get off your behind and start doing something about it. Don't just expect the universe to be like, oh, I'm ready. Yes, you can be ready, but have you done the work to be ready? Or are you not ready to receive that message that the angels are trying to give you? So if you want an appointment with Deborah for an astrology reading, please check her out. Her link is below in the description and has also been on this ticker. It is R Robin. Is it 12?
Yes.
rrobin12 at, it's coming across here now. Here we go. At bellsouth.net. I told you guys, Mercury's been having fun with me. Look, I couldn't even say the word Benefic. There we go again. This is why I have Deb to help me, because Mercury isn't affecting her as much. All right, so guys, if you want to get an appointment with her, she is awesome. She just went down to Charlotte to have an appointment with someone, and it doesn't matter how old you are, folks. When you are ready to receive this information.
Absolutely.
And we are all here to help each other be our best selves. And it's about time that we get off our behinds and start doing something about it instead of waiting for it to come to us. Anything else you want to have as a closing remark, Deb?
No, ma'am. I think we've said it all for today.
All right. Well, you have a happy and blessed day, and hopefully the next time I talk to you, Mercury will be direct.
On the 15th, it's going direct.
Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you.